Hello, Book Bandit here, along with my newborn son, who's sleeping. He's going to help me with this video. This video is a compilation of, or a grouping of all of the eBay lots, eBay video game lots I've purchased since May. My first purchase was about mid-May or so, beginning to mid-May, and it was a $81 lot of NES games and a few Nintendo 64 games, and since then I've purchased one other big lot and a couple of smaller ones. So all told, out of the 5 lots, I spent about $236, including shipping on those lots. And since then I've sent all of them into Amazon. I haven't made one sale yet. Unfortunately. So I'm probably going to have to go back and possibly adjust pricing or just wait it out. Wait till Q4, hopefully sell out most of the games. When I calculate all of the listing prices for all my games, it came out to $724. So after Amazon fees and shipping and whatnot, roughly it would be around $500 in profit. It might be a little bit more because I'm basing that on about 30% going towards Amazon for fees, but it could be less across the board for all the games. But I'm just gonna assume the worst, and it's gonna be a little bit higher. Usually it's around, for me, 25% or less on the fees, depending on the individual amount or the individual sale amount. So after fees and then after taking out the $236, I would make about $270 profit off of the $236 that I spent. So it would be more than what I spend on all the lots, but was it really worth it? Now this is kind of an experiment for me because I'm, as you can tell, Book Bandit. I've been focusing on books since I started last year, which have been doing well for me, but I wanted to get into different categories. And I've sold CDs and I've sold VHSs. You have to experiment and try new things. So regardless though, even if all of them sell eventually, let's say by the end of the year, beginning of the year, they all sell out from all these lots and I get all the money back, would it make more sense to just focus on books and other things that I'm having more success with, especially if the games aren't selling as quickly as I thought they would? Because a lot of these games, you know, I have some Legend of Zeldas and Marios and various other titles that are ranked well, but not selling as quickly as I thought they would. So should I give up on video games? I doubt it. Even though they don't sell as fast and they're not going to make as much of a return on investment as I get with books, I definitely want to keep diversified and keep getting better at selling video games, because there's definitely money to be made out there, and it's the kind of thing that you have to spend a little more money to make the money, but you know, if it's probably going to be worth it at the end of the day to diversify. I'm just looking at this as more of an experiment to find out what works best with me in regards to video games and what sells the best and what just makes more sense for me. It seems to be that it takes a little more upfront money, a lot more upfront money compared to books, way more to make a profit. But you know, doubling and possibly tripling your money selling video games is definitely worth it, but you have to have the capital to lay out initially, especially if you have to sit on the inventory for months or a little while. But once again, you know, that goes down to pricing and how much profit you really want to make, how quickly you want to turn it over. At this point, I'm looking at video games as just an experiment and just to diversify a little bit before the fourth quarter, and possibly next year get into it some more as my income goes up on Amazon from books and other media items. Because, you know, spending $500, $1,000 a month to acquire a lot of video games is a little bit much for me right now. Not to mention that I'm super cheap and I love books because they're relatively inexpensive, as well as CDs and VHS tapes. So it's we'll see how it goes, but it's probably going to be more of a long-term part of my FBA business. In addition to the Wii that I got before on Craigslist, I also got the Nintendo 64 console off of eBay, so I can test games in the future as well. So now I've got the original NES, the Nintendo 64, the Wii, and I don't have them hooked up, but I also have Xbox 360 and the original Xbox from back in the day. So have 5 consoles, and as things move along and I get more into video games, I'll have a lot of systems to be able to test them on. And probably, other ones I want to get, like Super Nintendo. I don't have any PlayStations, so we'll see about that. That's another option as well. So I hope you enjoyed my little talk about video games, and if you jump into them, go for it, and leave in the comments below about your experiences and any recommendations you have for me. From me and my newborn son, remember, keep booking.